This evening, live from Capitol Hill, let's bring on Congressman Mike Quigley, a Democrat from Chicago, Illinois, importantly, a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thank you for coming on. What is left of your committee tonight? And I guess my second question would be, will you ever trust your chairman again?
Well, look, the first thing I was asked this morning is what will the White House role be in the Russia probe? And I said I predicted that it would be distractions and obstruction. And they didn't disappoint, and it didn't take too long. The committee's work, however, is going to continue. There's no way in the world we should walk away from it. Frankly, we're the only game in town on the Hill between the House and Senate Intelligence Committees. The work is too important. We're the only ones shedding a light on it, pressuring, as we saw with the ranking member, for an independent investigation and an independent prosecutor. But it's the information that we glean and learn in this process that helps drive that ability.
It's 11 o'clock at night. Have you yet learned what it is that the chairman shared with the president at the White House today?
No. I happened to see the chairman speaking at the White House with the sound down on the television, and then underneath we started to see what he was talking about. And as a member of the committee, I was just absolutely stunned. How does this happen? Typically what happens with Intelligence Committee members is we're briefed by the intelligence community, think CIA, FBI, DNI, or if there's something that's of very profound, immediate importance, the Gang of Eight are briefed. But at least the ranking member and the chairman are briefed at the same time. In anybody's memory, the chairman doesn't find out something first, and we're not sure where it came from or what it was, and then go to the White House, particularly right after just a hearing in which the FBI director said there's an investigation into Russian involvement in the democratic process. Then to go to the White House, it unfortunately just shreds the credibility that we're going to have, an ability to have an independent, bipartisan investigation. We've got to try to piece this together. It begins tomorrow with the chairman talking to us and explaining what took place today.
Can you explain to our lay audience what the notion of collateral collection is? That is, how it could be that Donald Trump or associates of his could have had their names, conversations, mentions included in some other ongoing legal investigation.
Yeah, I only want to speak about it in a general sense.
Right.
But there's an example would be something we call 702 collection. This is when we are listening in, the community is, from one foreigner in another land talking to another foreigner, not a U.S. citizen. There are opportunities there. There are circumstances in which there's incidental collection. A U.S. citizen is involved in that conversation, and they're not the target of this. So sometimes there's just this incidental collection that takes place. So you can imagine either in that sort of circumstance or a legal circumstance in which we're listening to people who are targets of investigation, for example, and the names of other people are brought up, or other people are incidentally engaged in conversation, and that is brought up.
And what do you say to those who say this needs to be taken out of your hands? This needs to be either a select committee comprised of members of Congress or an independent commission of some sort?
Oh, I think that what we saw that was most effective after 9/11 was a combination. They all have different values, right? An independent investigation takes what happened today out of the possibility. But at the same time, the intel committees have opportunities to get extraordinarily classified information very quickly and discern what that means. So I think you also, at the same time, need to talk about an independent prosecutor. That's very clear that this is going to be difficult without that, especially the revelation that Mr. Sessions had a third contact with the Russians and didn't tell anyone. I think it's very clear that we're going to need all three.
Illinois Democratic Congressman Mike Quigley, thank you very much at the end of a long day for joining us on our broadcast. We appreciate it.